Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Digimon anime heroes. I'm guessing it's pronounced BEELZEMON. I don't remember this character very much at all. Actually, I don't remember it at all, so I don't know about accuracy. You guys can answer that for yourself. Let me know in the comment section below if it looks accurate to you. It seems to match the artwork pretty well, so I'm going to count it as accurate. I'm going to give it a regular review otherwise, other than commenting on the accuracy. But there's some pretty cool stuff going on here, so let's go ahead and get them off the stand and take a closer look. Before we get into it, just want to let you guys know, if you happen to have missed the videos, I did review these guys, so if you want to check those out, I'll have them up there in the corner. You can watch those reviews. If you're a Digimon fan and you want to see that, I would recommend it. Alright, so this guy stands with his legs just a little bit apart. Just about 6.5 inches, not counting the top of his hair and spikes on his mask or whatever that carapace type thing is. It's about 16.5 inches. Here he is up against Darwin. A little bit taller, he's about 1.1 Darwins. Cheaper than Darwin by about $6, and significantly more paint, significantly more sculpt, in that it is 100% new sculpt for this guy, and this guy is 100% old sculpt other than the hands and head and maybe the belt. So just a quick comparison. It's kind of insulting that Hasbro thinks this is worth $26 just because of the Marvel tax, which I don't buy at all, because Marvel stuff sells for being Marvel. So therefore the tax that, it's in air quotes by the way, the tax is canceled out, if you ask me, at least mostly. Okay, so let's talk about this guy, but first we have to do a question of the day. Who is your favorite Digimon? You can pick any of them, any evolution or Digivolution. I don't know what it's called, Digivolution. I never really got into Digimon besides watching the cartoon as a kid, but I love that cartoon. Anyway, who's your favorite? For me, it's got to be Anjuwomon. I'm sorry, I know it's not Anjuwomon. Not really, I'm joking, but also kind of not, because Anjuwomon and Anjumon, badass designs, very cool designs, so I like those. But I think if I had to pick Greymon, War Greymon, that whole evolution line, I like that a whole bunch. Okay, let's talk about the aesthetic. Like I said, all new sculpt. It is relatively plasticky where it's not painted, but since it's supposed to look like leather, it's not the worst thing in the world. But there's a decent amount of paint on here. If you look at his chest, the zippers are painted. He's got the brown painted armor basically everywhere, little details here and there throughout. That's pretty cool. The holster down here, it's molded, but it matches, so that's nice. These are actually molded as well. A lot of molded parts, a lot of painted parts. These are molded, painted. Yeah, they did a good job of mixing the whole batch. The detail paintwork on the sleeve is pretty good. This is all right. The head looks really nice. I think they nailed it. The eyes look great. That's fine, looks good. A lot of not clever really, but good usage of molded parts to not have to paint as much. But there is paint, like on the hands, you can see they did a good job, so that's nice. And then like I said, the sculpt is good, there's lots of wrinkling, it looks nice, lots of details sculpted in. The buckles, even though they're all just hunks of plastic that are part of the rest of the sculpt, it looks pretty good. We have these dangly bits, whatever these things are. I thought they were parts of his jacket, but then he also has them coming out of his head, so I don't know what's going on there, but we have those. Yeah, it looks pretty good. The tail is sculpted pretty well. I think for the price point, what are these, 20 bucks? I think they're 20 bucks. Can't remember anymore, losing my mind. They're pretty darn good. I'm gonna give this guy an aesthetic rating of a 9 out of 10 for 20 bucks. $6 cheaper than this. $6 doesn't sound like much, but when you're only talking about $26 is a ton. It's a ton, so that tells you something. Alright, now as far as accessories go, he does come with the trigger finger hands on him in the package. You also get 2 fist hands, and you get the 2 guns, which actually have a decent amount of paint on them. More paint than almost every Marvel Legends gun ever. So that's worth noting. He holds the guns okay. His hands are a little bit too loose. They fit nicely, but the sculpt is just a little bit too loose for holding the pistols. One pistol does fit in the thing on his ankle, or on his calf. I guess that's just the character design to have one holster. That's strange. But that's it for accessories. That's enough, I think, for the price point. So 7 out of 10. It's nothing special, but it is fine. Now, as far as articulation goes, the head is on a ball peg, but you're not going to do much because of the hair and the fur on the coat. So it's just a little bit of rotation, really. Not much else to do. A little bit of looking down, but mostly just rotation. Shoulders are on a ball peg. Could be tighter, for sure. Then you get your hinge, which gets the arm up better than horizontal, so that is okay. You do, of course, get your full rotation. Full bicep swivel, that's good. Double jointed elbow works nicely. There's no reason for these giant lanky arms to not work, and they do, so that's good. And then for the wrists, we have a ball hinge. Not the best looking thing in the world, but you can get the hand aiming that gun wherever you want, so that's pretty cool. By the way, for instances like this, where his hands are too tight or too loose for holding the accessories, lots of action figures have this problem, really. I would recommend you go on Amazon, look up clear elastic bands for braces, or just clear elastic bands. You'll find, like, for $6, like 2,000 tiny clear rubber bands, and they're perfect for holding accessories on if you're going to use it for like a display or something. Just make sure you don't let your pets eat them. Looks like if you wedge these in nice and tight into the hands, it's not as loose, but they do still pop out fairly easily. But yeah, those little clear bands are helpful. Again, just be careful. Pets like to eat those things, and you shouldn't eat them either. Okay, so on to the torso. There is a waist twist, but if you lift up on it, it creates a goofy looking gap, a horrible gap. But it does give you extra posability, so if you really wanted to, you could use that joint, and then, like, if you're doing photography or something, or just posing him for a shelf display, if you don't look at it from the right angle, or the wrong angle, however you want to look at it, get it? See what I did there? Anyway, it doesn't look bad. It's super ugly and hideous, obviously from the front, because it just disconnects the whole body, but it is there if you want to use it, so that's okay. And if you don't want to use it, just push it down, and it's pretty well hidden. For the hips, we have our hinged ball pegs. I hate this design, generally speaking, but at least they're making theirs nice and tight, so it's not really a problem, and they function well enough. So you can use that hinge and bring the leg up to just about horizontal. It's not fully horizontal, but it's close. It does go back a little bit, out to the side. Almost full-on splits, better than most Spider-Man figures. You do get a thigh swivel, that's fine. Double jointed knee, not going to mention proportions because this guy clearly doesn't follow the rules. Pretty good range out of that knee. Not the best looking knee in the world, but it works. Then the ankles, definitely too tiny a ball hinge, but it's a functional ball hinge. I don't know why they do that. A bigger ball hinge would have looked better and functioned better. But it does work, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's not the best looking figure ever. It doesn't have the best engineering ever, but for $20, oh, forgot to mention the tail. Tail is on a ball peg, so it doesn't do much, but it does move a little bit, and it does rotate, so it'll do. Okay, so what I was saying is, for $20, I don't think you can really ask for too much more. Yes, things like bigger ball hinges in the ankles and stuff like that, sure. But otherwise, you just can't get good figures for $20 anymore. And so since these are pretty darn solid, I think that's just great. I'll give the articulation an 8 out of 10 for the price point. He works pretty well. That torso is pretty horrible, though. Definitely could have done that better. Way better. Just take this part, like, underneath the jacket and make it, like, spherical, and then hollow this out in the same way, and then put a ball peg on there. And it just moves around. You don't have to have it, like, the slip joint's not necessary, the gap's not necessary, but whatever. It's still okay for $20. So I'm going to give it a final rating of 9.5 out of 10. For $20, what the heck? If you're at all interested in the character or like the way it looks, yes, it's a little bit toyish compared to some figures in the engineering, but I mean, like, the joints aren't sculpted that much and that kind of thing, but still, for $20, it's darn good. So let me know what you guys think about this kind of thing in the comment section below. And if you liked the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, a thumbs down is okay too. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos almost every single day. Thousands already on the channel for the days I don't. So make sure you come back for all of that. In the meantime, keep collecting.